And let's start with a small introduction. Tell us a couple of words about yourself, where you are, what you do, what's your creativity about. You are an innovator. You are a badass trailblazer innovator in your job. You are literally moving mountains in your workplace right now. You are so creative. You are designing spaces. Tell us a little bit about you.
Hi, thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm Kristine. I live right now in Canadian Rocky Mountains in a little town called Radium Hot Springs. And currently I am expressing myself through creating a cafe that's going to be a #1 coffee shop in North America. That's kind of the big goal. For it to be that. But really, I am, as you just mentioned, kind of unlocking my creativity through a mission to create spaces for people where they can really connect with land and connect with peacefulness and themselves. Connect the land through cafe, for example, in this setting, is to bring sustainable choices, to really create an environment, to set intention in every single detail I do, so that it's the kind of place where you go in for coffee and don't know what hit you, because you left happier, you left more fulfilled. And whether you're a client or a staff member, it's reflecting that experience in past the moment that you entered the door of this place. Parallel to that, I'm looking to also create a lodge where I would have Reiki sessions, healing sessions, work with animal therapy, specifically with alpacas. And I'm also creating a journal for dreamers and a book for kids that allow them to explore what means to move up and down within an emotional scale. So kind of recognize where the emotions are, what they are, and how to move up from where they
Mm,
are in that moment.
full creative explosion going on here. I just love it. Like
my
it's
actual job, my actual job title in this coffee shop is a trailblazer. It's official.
I love it. It's so you are like you are so inspiring. You are an innovator, and I love working with people who are not afraid to blaze new trails, right? To explore unexplored territories and to create something entirely new. And you are the master of this. And can you share with me, like, what was that attractive thing for you to start the group coaching program, and also the benefits, and why did you click? Why do you found in your place within this program?
Hmm. I think one of the main things, being a trailblazer, often you're at at the front line, so it can be lonely there. um, and in a way, right, like you're right at the front of the pack, and a lot of times it's bringing in solutions and ideas that are not existent, as you just said. So having that container or a place where I can come together with people and have insights, what they're working through, or bring my kind of energy together with people that are also creating, gives me just that superpower and feeling of a team, really, of a trailblazer team.
Team.
Let's put it that way.
Exactly, because actually we're all innovating one way or another. The all people who are in the group coaching program, they are having some very fresh ideas and perspectives. And so yeah, that community is the perfect container to nurture those ideas and to develop that persistence towards them,
Mhm.
and the commitment, and learn some tricks and tips. And
Yes.
and there we go to the next topic, because you are like the you I think you're already a master manifestator. You are super intuitive because you have been working with me also before the group coaching program a little bit. So you did practice it. And now, like with every intuition exercise, you're like, I look forward to see your comments because it's like, what? Like today, what happened in our group coaching session? Yeah. So tell me, what are some of the recent things that happen as a result of the coaching sessions and materials and tips and tricks that I give my clients?
Yeah, it's good that you said recent because there's a lot, and it's been a really like evolving journey. And I often come into the sessions maybe not exactly knowing what I'm aiming for to get from it, and there's always something that I go away with and I put it in practice. So coming back together with the group and having these check-ins where we at and what has for example, what wins have we experienced is something that really helps to go with that direction. And sorry, I just totally went away from the question.
I
What was
love
the
that
question?
energy. You, as a master manifestator, can you share some of the
Oh,
amazing
yes.
manifestations that you just had recently? Because you are
Right,
like,
and that's
I want it, it happens. I want it, it happens. It's like mind blowing.
exactly, yeah. And yes, that's why I was saying that I can't even remember all of them because there's constantly some. But the very, very latest one, I was really happy to join this week's meeting because I felt like for a little while I didn't have anything kind of new and exciting wins happening. But what I realized, it's not exactly that I didn't have them. They were actually very frequent, but I just didn't have kind of that acknowledgement of it to sit down and like
Yeah.
that was a win. Because a lot of times, what you mentioned, sometimes it's not a win that I manifested this and it's in my hand now. It's sometimes that mindset win. So one of the big ones, for example, as you say, like I'm creative. Before we started our sessions, I did not think about myself that way at all. It was something out of reach. I never thought of myself. I really always wanted to be creative and be more artsy, but it just wasn't me, what I thought. So just to go back to the last manifestations, is I did this one of the exercises in one of our sessions about 6 weeks ago. That was kind of clarifying what are the gaps between what you dream up and what you actually achieve or manifest. And I realized that for me it was to have a different space. Where I wasn't just serving me anymore. And I realized that I can't go with just aiming and blazing towards my goals before I have this place sorted out. And I just set it out there that this is what I want to do. I want to have a freedom. I want to be debt free, and I want to live in a house that I don't pay for. That was my kind of set intention. So what happened is I sold my place to the first person who came to look at it. And I paid all my debt off, and I moved into a house that I actually already had that's on wheels, that's an RV. And I have right now experiencing the benefits of it, of this journey. So I am free. It happened with like absolute effortlessly. And even though I imagined it maybe a little bit differently, a house, when I meant a house that I don't pay for, I imagined this like big mansion on a lake. But I did. I did wake up the next day on a lake with the doors open of my RV, and then I thought, well, I didn't say exactly how I wanted it to be. It was the feeling I wanted to get. And I live this feeling every moment now. And I did step outside of my door, and I got the next place already lined up. And right now I'm in the place that I'm looking after. So it's like abundance of things just coming through, even without having specifics playing out. It's almost more exciting.
Beautiful. So you have a beautiful new, even multiple environments now when you can explore your creativity even more and feel free to to create and embrace that. So it's super nice. And let's talk a little bit about the value um, of the program, because there's a lot, the program that they offer is pretty much packed with stuff. There is a course, there is intuition trainings, there is coaching sessions, there is sometimes one-on-one sessions when my clients need it. There are workshops, storytelling workshop, visibility workshop. So yeah, can you share some of the things that you really appreciated so far, and which made the difference in your confidence, in your understanding, in your awareness? What are those things that you really appreciate? Because I many times like talk about the program, but people who don't are not there, they cannot imagine. So how can we help them to imagine what this bubble that we have is, and why is it so empowering?
Mm. Yeah, it's a lot of the things that you teach in the course are kind of things I've always done a little bit, but I would say that doing it with your guidance it's like a booster for me. So intuition and creativity exercises, for example, for me are very essential, have been very essential through these workshops, and mainly because I have a bit of a more accountability when I do it with the group, and there's this, coming back to the next session, and it's almost as if the group itself has certain kind of energy, and when you create a really good sense kind of for where we are all now and what is needed. And I find myself very often resonating with what the session is about, even if I don't know that that's what I need. So, for example, those exercises that we do through the group are I keep on using the word booster because that's probably, it's kind of like a rocket. It's like a fuel
Yeah.
and an accountability, because it brings me back to that moment of just blowing up little bubbles of activity.
Awesome. So yeah, it's like yeah, sounds like an efficient coaching to me. Wow. And so another thing I wanted to we have a visitor, that's no problem. Another thing I wanted to ask, because you are, as you said, you're an innovator and the trailblazer in your job. Do you feel the effects, because you have your creative projects going on? You also have very demanding job where you need plenty of creative energy, and you have a team, and you are a leader in your job. You do you feel empowered from the coaching sessions also in your job, in your
Mm,
in the role that you have?
absolutely. I think that's the biggest struggle I had before, where I was separating those, what I thought of as creative ideas I have, and then my main job. But bringing these tools actually into my main job have helped me to even look at it differently. I don't think about it anymore as, this is my main job, and then there's all these other things I want to do. I actually practice these tools within my job. Like I would have, a conversation with, tap into my intuition before I make a decision. Like that's been huge, because what happens is, with the role of a leader, often I felt like I have to plug into my, the logical brain, but that's not where I thrive. I actually thrive more when I'm into my intuitive side. So
Yeah.
I've applied all of these tools and exercises, not only on my ideas that I want to do in future, but in the actual like corporate job, leading the teams, as you said, and leading the project. So it's been, if anything, that's been a binder to be in this moment, that this is a source or one aspect of my creativity, and not to separate it as the main
Yeah.
job and the things I want to do.
Yeah, this is beautiful. And I mean, it's like for me, such an honor actually to recognize that what I am doing, I'm coaching actually I'm coaching you in creative leadership through the course and through the materials and through the sessions. This is like, it's like entrepreneurial spirit. So how to ignite that entrepreneurial. So that is for life. So if there's somebody watching this video and thinking, yeah, it's just, you know, a half year coaching program with Arta, you know, no, what you will learn in this 6 months or 12 months period is tools that you will be able to apply for the rest of your life. If you already feel that you have this entrepreneurial flame, you know, maybe it's still at the seed stage and it's starting to come out. You feel like, hey, I really want to embrace my entrepreneurial spirit and I want to become more and more independent in my life, because jobs don't really provide us security. You know, what provides us the real security is that we know that we have the value, that we know how to capitalize on it, and also how to exchange it for value of others, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
so this is something I wanted to mention, that if somebody is watching, that you get really a toolbox for life. And
That's right.
Kristine, what would you say to somebody who is like so close to starting working with me, but they're like, their mind is talking them out of that decision, you know, the old habits, the maybe it's the laziness, or maybe it's the procrastination, or maybe it's like these limiting beliefs around money. If I will spend this amount, more is not going to come, you know, and maybe they don't see the return of investment. How can we help them to realize that this is an investment which has a return of the investment? So this is something that they will have for life, and that they will really benefit from. What would you say to those people who need the support, but they're still postponing it for one day, someday?
Hmm. I think just allow to be helped, to be someone to hold your hand who knows what they're doing, where they're going, and are mainly focused on your success. And the thing is about your sessions is that it doesn't matter where you are at this moment. I jumped in thinking that I'm going to work with this one particular project, but as we just had this conversation, it's within all of the lines of not only my job but in my private life, and everything about what I do has benefited from these sessions. So I think if you could just allow yourself to be handheld on a journey and not being fed by spoon, but given the tools. That's probably the biggest decision you need to make, is to be allowing yourself receive.
Mm-hmm.
um, these sessions
Yeah,
will do that
it's
for
so
you.
it's so difficult for people to admit, you know, it's okay to have help, it's okay to have
Yeah.
support. And when there's somebody, you know, committed, I am committed to Christine's happiness, for her to reach what she wants with her heart's desire, and I'm committed to every of my clients heart's desire, like, because that success is my reputation as well. So there's no way I'm gonna, you know, play around with my business or my reputation. So when you are working with me, I'm totally committed and devoted to you. And I think, yeah, also Kristine, I think you know that, right? That every client is like, what do you need? All right, let's jump into the challenge, let's sort it out, and let's make you fly again like a balloon.
Yeah,
So yeah, so
it's
that's
yours,
amazing.
and it's also plus the team that is in this group. Everyone's going through some kind of experiences or learnings, and collectively, as I mentioned, there's like kind of similar traits that everyone's experiencing at the same time. So you
Yeah,
get to learn from other people's conversations, issues, even especially actually in very different fields, like running or creating a coffee shop versus someone who's teaching a tango. I hear a lot of things from those communication, from those pieces that she's working on, for example, this other person, that I can apply within my, maybe not right away, but I kind of file it for the next
next time when I'm going to need something like that, that already
Yeah.
kind of seeds of the future sprouts.
I just loved also how today on our coaching session, my mom, like my mom is also in the coaching program. She's a painter and professional artist for all her life. How one of my clients had the productivity challenge a little bit, and I'm like, without me saying anything, my mom is already giving like tips in regards to productivity, what works for her as an artist. And so this is the cool thing what Kristine you mentioned, that collective thing of bringing brains together, which is actually a lot more efficient sometimes, not always, but it can be a lot more efficient than one-on-one coaching because of this. So you
Mhm.
create more value within that 1 hour of learning from. And the interesting thing that you said about bringing up topics which are on your mind, I think we're all connected. It's like what's going on in my mind is like the same thing, that's the same maybe challenge, or and then everybody can benefit from it in the group setting.
And I think
So
one of the main things as well is, besides that, is that you are holding that container for us. So you are yourself invested and focused, and it helps when someone like that is driving a whole team that are trying to achieve something. So that's always been very supportive.
beautiful, Kristine. Thanks so much for sharing your
Thank you.
adventures and journey and your feedback about the whole group coaching program and showing up for me here. See you guys
Yeah,
soon.
thank you.
And